nervous?
Not really. There's a few things on that motor that I'm kind of iffy about, but not a few. There's only one or two. I'm running those generic high compression pistons off in it. They don't really account for oversized valves.
Best to stay out of the way,
It's
huh?
best to stay out of the way.
Yeah.
So I let them know that I have an iron cam off in it because there's steel cams, your roller cams, and then you have iron cams. There's differences, the different type of gear that's required. But there's gears that you can run both on, which, for example, bronze. I'm pretty sure you just put a bronze gear off in there, which works on both, from what I remember. It takes 96 torques is what it takes to install those heads. 3 stages, 16 bolts on each side. What horsepower do you think it's gonna take?
I keep getting the number 412, and that would be excellent.
There's a flat spot right on that one for the polywalk to sit flat on. Well, some of them, you look, they're rounded, so they're upside down. Like that one, it's not flat, it's upside down. Like that one there.
Oh.
The thing is spun,
Oh.
is what I'm saying.
Oh.
You can't have them like that for let's see if on the other side of that way too.
Yeah, I did a boo-boo. Turns out there's something I did not know. Those rockers, they have a flat spot. I didn't know that. When I install them, they were not right. So rockers get to come off, and then those things get spun, and they have to get right back down.
Is it a major ordeal?
Not really. Okay, it's not an impossible thing to fix. It's just one of those deals that is just time consuming and takes time. So there's more money out of my pocket, basically. Basically, in this situation, it's what happens when you don't have like somebody over you that has experience and you have no experience, and you're only having to rely on the internet, books, and YouTube. You end up with a situation like this. Some people believe that car guys belong to a counterculture, but I contest that theory because look at what we bring to society. Look at what we add to civilization. See, that could be a barbecue grill.
290,
Yeah, 292 heads.
292.
Yes.
Carburetor.
Y'all's Dyno card.
Yeah. What? Huh?
Or 950.
Oh, is that 950?
He's got a 950 on it.
Didn't know anything about him.
Alright, let's see what you got here.
And those are 1.72 ratio rockers. These rockers I have are just a tiny bit off from factory. I'm pretty sure the factory is a 1.7, these are 1.72. So it's going to give me just a little bit more power because it's going to increase the lift of the valve in the duration.
Y53 to Y54 basically. Yeah, I believe it's on a 110. Oh, 112. That's not normal for that. Must be, is this a marine grind or something? Okay.
Then you want to zip it up.
Now in the boat application, I never run the timing that high, but that's what the motor's going to want.
A little on the high side.
Yeah, because you're always going uphill on a boat, so probably 32 would be the most I would run in it with me.
Okay, 32. Okay.
I'm going to change it to 32, but we'll run it up to, and I'll let you know what you'll know because you'll be here. But
Oh,
I'll tell you where we're at. So.
In all honesty, I know nothing about timing because I have no experience in it. So.
Right. I just know what is hard on an engine, and 32. Like if you're going across the water at 32 and you turn it up to 38, you're only going to gain a couple miles an hour. So you're saving the engine. You're making it live longer.
Cool. So ignition timing is a major factor in horsepower, and it's kind of like just like this is weird concept with engines where you go one way, you gain a lot, but then lose a lot more. So with ignition timing, you want what like healthy timing, where it's not being detrimental to the motor, but you're making good power. Oh hey. Okay, glad to see you there. All right, so I'm gonna be telling you about what we're gonna be doing today on the engine. This is a Holley 950 XP carburetor. It's running off a 92 octane fuel. All right, and they're coming back from lunch here in a minute, and they're gonna fire this bad boy up. And we're gonna be looking at getting over 500 horsepower. But I have no idea what it's gonna make. It can make 400. I got no idea, so we're gonna find out. How you like that? I said he installed that right there. See if I can talk him into keeping it. That right there.
A little plug.
Yeah, the plug thing. Man, I can't believe it. It's kind of weird if you think about all that time and effort and energy and thought that went off into this. And I'm looking at it and it just seems so stupid simple now. It's just like all the intelligence just like got slid off the slate, and it's like engine, carburetor, exhaust. Oh man. So this is what I took a hacksaw to last night for an hour and a half. Surprisingly, you didn't wake you up and come in mad. That is where I had to cut this to make this bolt work because these bolts were way too short, and I was scared they wouldn't have them here.
Okay. Ready to try her?
Sure.
Ready?
I don't know what we're doing.
Do you want to try it? Good.
late nights talking to your uncle paid off, huh?
Yeah. See, like after it's all done, like it's all like good, we're safe. Then I'll start confessing about how I was scared about when I put this or that on or whatever. So far it's going really, really well. I took a little bit of material on one cylinder. We haven't heard anything yet, so that's a very, very good sign. I took a little bit of material out of one cylinder that I shouldn't have. It's something I had to do to get rust out. So far, we haven't heard anything bad, so that's a very, very good sign. Another thing too is my piston to valve clearance, because I'm running aftermarket pistons. They were very, very close to those pistons, but I haven't heard anything crazy, so far we're in the clear. So they're just messing with that valve cover right now. They're trying to get that seal under it to seal up. where the valve is, to the piston, to the valve, is really close right there. My biggest fear was it getting too close.
But is that why the balance, you were testing the balance, and it's good?
Yeah, the balance is really good.
Okay, so we got 10.2 with 119 cc head is what those 26 cc there. They keep blacks or something.
They're just like them, we call them Speedmaster brand or some shit like that. It's,
okay.
Yeah, it's one of those.
All right, so it's a 26 cc. It's like 10.2 with a 119, which is really pretty borderline with iron heads.
Yeah.
But you have like a 107, so it's like 11 to 1.
Oh hell yeah.
So you're not gonna be able to run that on pump gas. We're gonna have to put something in it.
Okay.
Fuel additive.
11 to 1. Wow. I guess
That's a little high.
I want to see if I can find
The piston.
yeah, the
Yeah,
pistons
see
on
if we
there.
can find the piston. Do you know where the piston was in the bore? How far down? That's a factor too, and what head gasket thickness you used.
I used 20 thousandths head gasket.
Or you use a thin head gasket?
Yeah, I used the thin head
The
gasket.
little metal shim one?
Yeah, it's still shim head gaskets,
Okay.
yes.
So then how far down in the bore was the piston before you put the heads on? Did you measure that?
I did not measure that.
But you,
I
it was
just
down enough you thought you could get away with a 20, because 20 is not enough quench. Like if it was zero deck, like you typically build a race motor where you've surfaced everything, decked everything down,
yeah.
then
Oh, you're talking about okay, yeah, I know what you're talking about. For that, the distance was
below the deck, how low below the deck was the flat part of the piston, not the dome, but the flat part.
I think it was flush. I think it was 0 deck.
Well, if you got 20 and zero deck, it's never going to work. It's going to hit the head.
No, it's not going to hit the head. I
20 thousandths is not enough for the piston.
Well, I promise I'm not.
Gotta
I don't
have
really know my.
35.
Promise I really don't know my right fingers right now. I'm kind of like just.
Right, yeah, that's fine.
Going.
But you put a thin head gasket on there,
Yeah.
so you probably brought it pretty close to quench if it was down in a hole 20 or 25.
Yeah. I used the modeling clay method. That's what I was trying to get
For
at.
the which part, the modeling clay for the valve to piston clearance or for the piston
Both.
to head?
Both.
Okay.
I did both of them.
And what was the minimum thickness on the piston to head?
I can't remember off the top of my head, but
it was over 40.
It was over 40. Yeah.
Okay. So you'll be all right in that area. So I mean, if that's the case, it's just going to run good, but you're going to have to put some kind of additive in it.
Okay.
So
Yeah. So I got a little bit more compression than I thought. That's why it sounds so good. Yeah.
11 to 1.
That's what we're thinking. 11 to 1. Crapshoot to find the compression on here because I didn't use the right methodology. You have to CC the heads. Find there's a calculation, an exact calculation for it. I didn't do that. I said these heads are shaved. This is what I think it is. This is the dome clearance, and I just put it off in a generic calculator online, and it gave me like 10.5 to 1 compression. So what he's saying is I'm pretty. He's saying I'm pretty high right now.
In a good way? High 11 to 1?
Yeah, high 11 to 1 is what he's claiming. So it would probably be a good thing to run it off a high octane fuel to begin with.
About the timing mark.
They're telling me that the timing mark's pretty close. It's pretty close on the timing. Yeah. I was expecting it to be the other way around. I was expecting it not to have a whole lot of compression. He's telling me it's got actually got plenty of compression.
It's got plenty, that's for sure. I'd say maybe 450.
Huh?
450, 500, probably.
450 to 500 horsepower.
Somebody's going to win a bet.
See if we get the big 5.0. Somebody's going to win that bet.
Depends on how good the port work is.
What's that?
Depends on how good the port work is.
Yeah, it depends on how good the port work is.
close to 96 octane.
96 octane.
So that's not anything bigger than 92 at the pump, so you got to add an additive to it.
Yeah, the octane boost drop in it.
The colder you run it, the less likely you are to detonate it. Being a jet motor, you can run it really cold, so it helps, but still a lot of compression. I mean, typically on a boat, we try not to go over about 9.5, and you're 11. Okay. By all the numbers, so.
What was that?
So it didn't blow up. At least it hasn't yet. Oh man.
We haven't gotten to the high RPMs yet either, though. Not to worry you.
Another thing too, when it comes to camshafts, it's important to get like compression ratio to correlate with the performance of the camshaft. Because cams
We're
will
about 98, which is going to be plenty octane. Just pour the 2 gallons of 110 in it.
So cams work. They correlate with the performance of the compression ratio. 10 to 1, 10-5 to 1, or 9-5 to 1 to 10-5 to 1 is ideal. You really don't want to go over 10-5 to 1. And see, they're getting it like spot on for maximum performance. They're getting like they're getting it right down to pat. But it's all about the experience. That's what I care about more than anything. I care about the experience of getting to do this. If I gotta sell the boat to pay for all the bills, then so be it. You know, this is a cool aside to me personally. This is this stuff right here. I've driven in boats all my life. Riding around in boats is cool and all, but for me, it's really this right here. It's really to get to a big throwback to the days back when, like, you know, you could actually do this stuff on a budget. You can't do it anymore unless you're rich, and there's no point because people really go out and buy their engines. So this is really cool to actually do it yourself. That's what I'm saying. There's so much that goes off into an engine. It's like a human body. There's so much that has to happen that goes on to make things work the way they need to work.
You're talking about ratios of fuel ignition? Is that what we're
Yes.
talking about?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, there's fuel ratios, ignition timing. There's so much that actually goes on. It's a lot of stuff that a lot of people just don't know or see it. Because the next time you see an engine, they go, "Whoa, guess what? Here's a genius that made it happen." So.
Well, there's probably about 15 geniuses that made it happen, right?
Yeah. The engine machinists / dyno guys, in my opinion, they're the wizards. Because you see over there what they do, you see over here what they do. They're the ultimate wizards when it comes to engines. Shade tree mechanics like me, you can't even begin to shake a stick at these guys.
Well, you guys give them something to do with it.
Yeah, we do give some good money. Oh man.
Sounds like it's got a lot of timing in it. What'd you see?
28 or 30.
Okay.
So look at that, 4,000 RPM, foot-pounds, 262
I
foot-pounds.
just put it on.
Power, 200
I
horsepower.
didn't have it even close.
I probably had about quarter throttle zone.
Oh, okay.
It'll be better than that. I just wanted that fuel to get through. I was trying to burn some of the fuel without putting a lot of load on it.
Didn't Jason miss it? I'd say that was way off. Jason back and forth. Alright, we're going to 4,500 full throttle this time.
With 489 foot-pounds of torque.
Yeah. 410 horsepower, 4,400. So I don't know what that pump turns. Probably 55, don't it? Is it a jet boat?
Yeah, it's a jet boat.
Probably turns about 55, don't it?
Yeah, I might be putting this in a
Is
car.
that-
Yeah, it's 5,500. Yeah.
One thing is asking you.
Some horsepower is 410 horsepower.
See how much they know.
I said, you see how much they know? I wouldn't even begin to know that. Like,
What?
they know that for that compression ratio, that spark plug is a little high. You see, he's got a shop over there with all the stuff, his goodies. So he gets some of his goodies over here and put on the
What happens when a plug is hot?
Huh?
What happens when a plug is hot? Will it pop it out?
No, it won't pop it out. It'll burn it. It'll burn the plug up, and it can cause a preignition. So the whole overall point that I was trying to make was 4,100 RPM, 483 foot-pounds of torque, and 377 horsepower. That is when the pump is really beginning to kick in, if you can see it right there. Okay. From there, I want the numbers to keep on going up to 5,500 RPM. This cam is meant for 2,000 to 6,000 RPM. So it's not showing anything below 2,000. So as we're going to go up, the numbers should be following up. See, 377, 381, 393. You see how it's flat? It's consistently going up. 77, 81, 93, 410, 418. So it should peak out around 5,500 RPM. And that's what I want.
Is he going to test it?
Yeah, he's going to test it. He's just doing mild on dynos. You build up to it. So we do a little bit, then you adjust, do a little bit more, adjust, a little bit more, adjust. The more you go up in RPM, the more you got to be careful with your piston and valve clearance. Like if anything bad, well, you remember what I said in the beginning, if anything bad's going to happen, it's going to happen now. That's an engine break-in. So that's one phase. The next phase is the actual output of the engine itself. Will this thing stay together? If it stays together, you're good. If it chunks a rut out the side of the block, it's bad.
So this is an NGK racing type plug.
You live and you learn.
It's the same from where it's taper seats
Yeah.
to the deal. Just a little shorter to make it better for headers, I guess, but it's a little shorter. It's just a lot cooler plug.
Okay.
This is what I would put in if I was building that combination.
Okay.
With that much compression. So
Okay.
you all right with putting these in?
Yes,
to get
yes.
this?
What he was really asking is, are you all right with spending that kind of money?
Hey, you gotta do what you gotta do.
Am I helping or hurting?
Later. Both.
We'll take it to 5 and then look at the timing mark, if you can see it.
See, we'll load it up. See how it's going up to 3 man.
.505 on the torque.
505 foot-pounds of torque. It's actually going down. The torque's going down. The horsepower is going up. Look at that. We're at 449.
What's the horsepower?
That's more than I expected. I thought it was going to be 420, to be honest. I didn't think it was ever going to go anything close to 500. We're only 50 horse off from 500. Our torque numbers are actually higher down low than they are up high. But they're still high, though. We're still at 450 foot-pounds of torque. Actually, at 5,300, 5,100 RPM. Jet boats max out around they really max out around the 5,300 RPM mark, 52, 5,300 RPM mark. But you saw how hard it hit. It's hitting hard because it's got big torque numbers, and our horsepower is not bad. We're almost at 450 horsepower.
You're a wreck.
I am a wreck. I mean, it's all I really wanted was a really good motor. Like I wanted a really good motor. It didn't have to be the most powerful thing. I just wanted a really good motor, and so far, that's what it's turning out to be.
55,000 to 5,500, it just doesn't make a whole bunch more power, but
It's probably the intake.
well, could be just due to no timing in it, but I guess the best thing to do is add 2 degrees, let it cool a little bit. We're pulling back to back, we'll add 2 degrees to it and then see if it picks up a bunch or not. If it is what your timing light says, I need a whole bunch more timing, and it couldn't make that much power. Well, I don't see any reason to rev it much higher. We just wait and see what the peak is at 55. Once we rev it to 55 next time too, with some timing in it, and see if the peak is at 55 or if it's done like it was here. It's kind of hanging out. It's not a long ways off, but it's right in there.
Wouldn't have anything with me not shrouding the valves with a 2.19 intake, would it?
It could. I mean,
It's
a small chamber with a 219. I usually unshroud the valves a little bit when I do that.
It is a 20 over motor though.
With a 219, I mean, what's that?
It is a 20 over motor though.
And it's 20 over bore?
Yeah, 20 over motor.
Yeah, I don't think the valve shrouding on the bore is a problem, no.
Okay.
It'd be
That's
in the
what I was
combustion
thinking, too.
chamber, just on the side wall of the combustion chamber. A lot of times when we cut it, we'll cut it a little bit bigger when we put the 219 in the head.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Not the
too.
block,
I
yeah.
don't-
Block, I don't worry about.
I didn't think it'd be much of a restriction.
I mean, according to timing light, according to chasing the piston, the timing should be close, should be within, within 4 degrees. So if we're at 30,
Wouldn't be any valve float issue, would it?
wouldn't come back, no.
Okay.
Yeah, no, if it peaked here and then it just kind of hung flat, it wouldn't have came back with valve flow. It just went down to 300 horsepower.
I see.
So we haven't reached valve flow yet. So do you know
Okay,
what
I
the
see.
spring pressures are or anything, or do you know anything about that, or is it the spring for the cams?
I might have that shit up in there, but I know it's 305 for what the head guy set it up with for this cam. It's 305 fully open.
It's 305 open pressure.
Yeah, 305.
Well, that's plenty.
Yeah.
If the 280 to 300 is fine. So if you got 305, you're good to build a rev to 6,000.
Okay,
It's not nosing over. It's not meeting.
That's what I was saying, too.
I just quit pulling at 55.
Yeah.
But the peak number was down lower than 55, so
Yeah.
kind of in that 52, 5300 range. So,
That's what I was thinking.
but I mean that's absolutely perfect if you got a jet that turns 55.
That's what I'm thinking too.
Nailed it,
There's no
if
point.
that's the
Yeah.
case, yeah.
Just-
We can rev it a little higher at some point to see in case you want to put it in a car or something. But
Exactly how you got it. Yeah, 4100, 5500. Jet kicks in around 4100.
Mhm.
Really begins to perform around the 40
Yeah.
mid-range area.
So and then it might, if it turned 5500 before, it might turn 56 or 57 now.
In all reality, they really kick in, or really 5300 most of those
5300,
performance.
yeah.
Yeah. Most of those jets really, they want to say there's hits 5500 or $6,000. They really don't. They 5300. Plus, that's all the pump really wants to do anyway.
So you got 2 out of it pretty much because you were 30 to 28, now 32 30. They picked up 10 pretty much, close to it. Well, more than that, 13. Right?
48.
Let's just look at the average. 479. So 467, 425, 479, 436. So yeah, a bunch for 2. That's a lot. So 2 more, I guess, but I'll let it cool a bit. But your ideal would be that if you reach your peak number of 55 or 56, it'd be perfect.
Oh yeah.
Cam-wise, perfect choice.
What did you just say about the cam?
He said cam choice is perfect. Guess who picked out the cam? Another thing too is that an engine is at its strongest when it's brand new. After it gets broke in, once it once it gets broke in and they start doing pulls on it, if anything's going to break, it's going to break then because the engine's at its strongest. Everything's new. Components are new when they're at their. The components are strongest when they're new. If anything's going to break, it's going to break now. It's not going to break later on down the road. I'm super scared about because of the head gaskets I use. Technically, you're supposed to go a little bit bigger than the actual bore size. See, I thought the whole entire time I was doing this, I was thinking I was working against low compression because I thought those were big heads, but actually they're smaller heads. So I actually ordered the smaller head gaskets for it. That where I could pull in as much compression as I could. And if you go too small in the head gasket, you can actually have a little lip that protrudes out into the combustion chamber and that can cause detonation.
Gee, I'm following every bit of that thing. I even know a little bit, and
Yeah.
Seen that happen before on a Toyota. Put too small a bore head gasket on it, things rattle like a son of a gun.
Yep. It's really a fight that racers do, or engine builders, where they're trying to get as much power as they can out of what they have, but at the same time, they can't go over that limit, because once they go past that threshold, then they're into problems.
Yeah.
So it's all like a work. And when you're doing something like this, it's like, you're using stock heads, you think you know what they are unless you actually put out the real work, then you don't really know. See, CC, the heads and all that, like you've got to really, really go make a maximum effort into it.
Well, let's look at the plug again just for, this is all better too. See, though, that brake specific is the efficiency of the engine, and you like to see it in the 40s. It usually gets rich on the top, and almost always this is the first time it made it to the 5500 without being in the 50s already. So it's just cleaner. It's burning all the fuel instead of wasting it.
Nice. It's power efficiency. Or how Jackals would say, power. I mean, playing power.
Lower, it was only losing 2. Now it's losing 3.
I was at least 35 or 36 this time. I can change. Felt like I ran into red limiter there.
Yeah, ran into something. That was 36 to 32.
So 36.
Such a big valve. If you had the 208 in it still, or 206 or whatever they are, it probably wouldn't have been that heavy. It would have been a problem, but it'll go a little higher. But it's a jet. You're not going to turn it higher than 55. It doesn't do it till 56, 57, so you'll probably never know it. The 300 should be plenty if that's really what it has. I mean, I try to keep them around 280.
I just wanted a really good engine. Not bad for a first motor, is it?
Still all in one piece. That's really good. And it makes good power.
Sorry, what'd you say?
I said it makes good power. You know, make 520 foot-pounds of torque and 480 horsepower for an old iron-headed motor. That's pretty good.
Mm. Nice. Man. Really thankful nothing bad happened.
Right.
Very thankful nothing bad happened. Oh man.
Yeah, I must not have noticed on the last one, but it was going down. So it's a 55, 5600 RPM max deal.
I see.
With that valve spring without cranking up pressure. Now it's broke in. If you had enough room, you could go in there and pull the valve springs, put more shim under it, and bring the pressure up, and probably gain another couple hundred RPMs if it's a problem in the boat.
Yeah.
If you put it in a boat and you go to 55 and it's never a problem, then obviously
Yes, they're
not a problem. I mean, we got 36 in it now. I don't recommend running 36 in a boat. I would probably run it down a little bit, but at least you know what the motor's capable of. You put it in the car or something, you just have to shift it at 5500, which is not a problem. You know, valve being a little tight and I had a guy that did a 427 in a Camaro, had a similar problem, and all we did was back the lash off for him, and it took care of it. So, but
I see.
it can be a little noisy then, though, where it's quiet. You know, so.
It's a rat.
Okay, we'll get her cooled down and get her off of there.